Ukraine's free trade agreement with the European Union is expected to be implemented on January the 1st next year. But who exactly will benefit from this? Are Ukrainian businesses prepared? And how is the government helping? Here to answer these questions and more is Nataliya, Mykolska, Ukraine's Deputy Minister for Economic Development and Trade. Thank you very much for coming in to our studios in Kyiv.
Hello.
So I wanted to, first of all, ask you, what is your ministry doing to prepare Ukrainian businesses for the big day within a few weeks?
Yeah, that's true, because that's a big day not only for our businesses, but also for our people. Everybody stood on Maidan for DCFTA to come into force. So everybody is looking forward as to the 1st of January. Because we're not only speaking about free trade, we're also speaking potentially about investment from the European Union into the Ukrainian economy. So that's going to be a big day. What we are doing, you know that the European Union more than a year ago introduced unilateral preferences for Ukrainian businesses to export to the EU with the zero import duties for almost all products. So we already now are benefiting from the free trade regime. And what's going to happen on the 1st of January, we will have the free trade regime for the European Union imports into Ukraine. You know, a lot of people are saying that this will ruin potentially Ukrainian businesses because there will be a lot of competition on the market. Ukrainian businesses will be under pressure. Yeah. But we believe that the competition is not bad. Yeah. Competition is very good for the customers first. And secondly, competition is good for the businesses because they need to invest into the energy efficiency, they need to invest into the new technologies.
But do you think they're actually willing to do this, though?
You know, but that's a life, you know. Either you invest and you benefit from the free trade, or you work in your, you know, like environment which is closed, but not only for trade, but also for investments.
Often, when you have big integrations like this, big businesses can handle it because for them to hire, for example, interpreters and lawyers, it's easy. But for medium and smaller businesses, it's not so easy. So how is your ministry helping? Do you have training or education programs or anything like this?
Yeah, that's true. That for big businesses, it's much easier to, you know, like to get access to the new market.
So how are you helping the small businesses?
For the small and medium-sized businesses, we will be launching a few programs with the funding of the European Union. Together with the BRD, we are launching the program which is called EU Sure, which will provide the, some partial financing for the business through Ukrainian banks.
And what sort of programs? Is it leaflets or trainings?
No. That's actually partial co-financing of credits to Ukrainian, of loans to Ukrainian small and medium-sized business.
How much money?
Consulting. It will be structured for 5 years. Yeah. But the idea is, and it will be kind of a project base. So it depends on the size of the business, it depends on the project. But I think that the most important here is that this program provides for consultancy. Free consultancy for Ukrainian small and medium-sized business related to their export to the European Union.
And will it be targeted at certain sectors of the Ukrainian market? Because, for example, agriculture is a big we market to the European Union. So will this be given preferential treatment? There are no, we do not have an idea of giving preferential treatment to some sectors. The idea is to give treatment to special project. If the project is looks good, and you know, and there will be return on investments, I mean, for the state, so then the project will benefit from this program. But this program provides for establishment of more than 10 regional centers, so it will not be based in Kyiv only. It will be based in different regional centers. So the businesses can go there to get advice?
Definitely, to get an advice, to get an assessment whether the project that they think is going to be successful.
And who exactly is going to benefit? I guess you've done your analysis for the next year and a few years ahead. So what sort of sectors do you think will benefit the most and which will benefit the least?
We think that at least we think and we hope that from the DCFTA we will have a benefit for the agriculture. But the idea is not to export to the EU raw products, but to export to the EU value-added products. So we hope that we will have an access to the EU for dairy products soon.
So that's we are actually concentrating our work about. You know that we already got an access for our poultry and eggs. So the dairy product, that's the next step for us. But a lot of products already are on the European market.
And what about standards for these products as well? Because the European Union standards and Ukrainian standards are at different levels. So my first question is the ministry helping with this? And also, secondly, would this lead to a kind of two-tier system where you have these products which are being exported to the EU are a higher quality than the ones that are being produced domestically?
Actually, that is not the idea. The idea is to have one standards, actually one set of standards
but will this be enforced,
applied domestically, and one set of standards actually the same set of standards applied for the exports. We have a staging for the standards to be applied.
Oh yeah.
So this staging provides that we will be, and actually it's provided in the DCFTA. So there is actually some transitional period for some business actually to get used to those standards.
Because it takes some time.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
To change your manufacturing base.
Yeah,
and...
it takes some time, and it also takes, like some funds and some financial resources for the companies. So the idea is that Ukrainian businesses get some time to get those standards implemented, but it's inevitable. Because if you want to actually work even on the internal market, and if you will have a competition from the imported goods from other countries, you need to have a high-quality product. And you know what is the most important is that when Ukrainian business complies with the standards of the European Union, it almost automatically get access to markets of the third countries. Look, for example, at our eggs. Our eggs actually got access to the European Union market, and in about 3 months they got access to the Israeli market.
Yeah.
So that's the process actually where you benefit.
So it has a positive knock-on effect.
Definitely.
Then. What about in Ukraine itself? How are ordinary Ukrainians going to benefit from this? Because we talk about business, but what about people? Because, for example, in Ukraine, you have low wages compared to the EU. Now, do you expect these to rise, or do you expect the skill level throughout the country to increase?
What we expect actually that the prices for imported products will go down. It means that Ukrainian actually customer and consumer will get access to the high
By how
quality.
Much, do you think? Are the tariffs quite high now?
No, Ukrainian tariffs are not.
Or the official tariffs, should I say?
Yeah, no, but import duty is not as high. It's about, like 7 to 10% on average. So, but in any case, when you have 7 to 10% decrease of fees, of import duties, then you have a decrease on VAT. So basically, at the very end, the products should be cheaper. But the most important thing is that we expect that the DCFTA will bring the investment into the country. Because what we see that a lot of US businesses, a lot of Chinese businesses, a lot of businesses from India are interested in investing into Ukraine for producing products that will be exported to the European Union.
So it's not just to the European Union itself, because actually Ukraine's biggest exports go to Russia, Turkey, China, and I think within the European Union it's Poland and Italy. Certainly these were the figures from 2013 anyway.
Yeah.
So how is the ministry actually going to export to other countries? I mean, that's 2 countries in the whole European Union.
No. Actually, that's not true. No? We're exporting to almost every country. Not to almost, but to every country.
Ones anyway.
But that's the biggest. But the idea is that we need to have a production here that would produce value-added products.
Yeah.
Then those value-added products will be exported to the European Union. Look at the actually factories of a number of international companies that are in Ukraine. They are most efficient in the whole Europe. So basically, their mother company decided that they will be producing here products that will be exported to the European Union.
Yes. Yeah.
After the duties went down.
So, I have one final question to ask you about this free trade zone. We're expecting some retaliation from Moscow. So if this does happen on the 1st of January, how is the government going to compensate the businesses which lose out because of this deal?
Our assessment is that we will not lose much. Because the Russian market will not be closed. It will be closed for certain types of products.
What sort of products are you expecting? Like metals or...?
The major products that will suffer, that's the meat poultry, beef, and actually the some additional products. So what we expect that the some of agriculture product would suffer, but we are working now with the producers in order to find the alternative markets for them.
What sort of markets, do you think?
We are looking at the Middle East, we are looking at Asia, we are looking at Africa.
No, according to your analysis, that will actually compensate for the loss of Russian business? No?
It should. It should. And also we believe that the domestic market should also help to compensate the loss of the Russian market. But basically our businesses, they know that the Russian market is not predictable and they do not expect much from Russia.
Yeah.
So they're not investing a lot.
OK, excellent. Thank you very much for coming into Viewpoint. It's very interesting. Thank you. That was Nataliya Mykolska, Ukraine's Deputy Minister for Economic Development and Trade. We've been talking about Ukraine's treaty with the EU. Now, back to the news.